ready now. I ain't gonna fall back down now. All right, I'm take it on me, baby. All I ever ask, are you gonna be my lover tonight? I take it with me. What if I left? Then it made no sense. And you tell your friends and they hold your hands, baby. Never mind. What if I left? Then it made no sense. And you tell your friends and they hold your hands, baby. Never mind. I ain't gonna stop right now. Alright, take it on me, ooh, baby. Alright, I ever ask, do you wanna see my fire tonight? Take it with me, ooh, baby. If I left, then it made no sense. And you tell your friends and they hold your hands, baby. Never mind. What if I left, then it made no sense. And you tell your friends and they hold your hands, baby. Never mind. What if I left, then it made no sense. And you tell your friends and they hold your
Hey, good morning, everybody. We're going to get started here just in a few minutes. Don't worry, I'll auto zoom on this chart, make it a little bit bigger so you can kind of understand it. We'll get started here in about 1 minute. Happy Tuesday, by the way. Happy turnaround Tuesday, or will it be turned down or turn around? I'm not sure yet, but we're going to do our best to analyze and take a look here. It was a nice trading day yesterday. Had some SPY puts. We jumped in some SPY calls. Those all worked out. Had a few trades that also did pretty well. And we're going to go over some of these names that are reporting on the 29th. Most of them are reporting on the 29th. And to be quite honest with you, they're like some of my favorite looking setups. Unfortunately, we do have earnings on them, so they would be quicker trades. But I'm going to go over those right now. Let's go ahead and get started. Good morning. Again, today is October the 27th. It is Central Time here, 8 o'clock in the morning. And let's go over our blueprint. So currently I'm looking at a 4-hour. I'm going to take you to a day here in a second. You could see, let's make sure all our mics are on. Mics are on. We're good to go. All right, you can see here that on the 4-hour, we did come close to the green box yesterday. And what I like to do, and I'll go over this again for myself, is that with the boxes, I like to trade MES. The reason why I trade MES is it's a lot more forgiving, and quite frankly, it's just easier. It really is. So when using supply and demand, using the trendy edges, basically what I want to look for is any line above price, current price is going to be resistance until it's not. And then price below is going to be support until it's not. When price gets at or around the box, I go ahead and take the trade. I don't wait for it just to touch the line exactly. Just like if I'm taking a trade to the upside, all right, and it's getting close to my target, I'm not greedy. I'm not waiting for this exact price to hit. I'm going ahead and trimming. Now, waking up this morning, to the team, I've already told them, because we're moving up close to the trendy edge, this is resistance until proven otherwise. You got a couple things going on here. Now on the 4-hour 9 EMA, you can see that this is resistance. okay? And you have the trendy edge here. Both of these, right? That's like a double whammy. It's saying be cautious. This is what the futures like to do. On gap ups, they move you into resistance. The question is, will price hold? I'd say about 40% of the move up. Very, very important that it can do that. It shows that there's, they have some strength. If not, then you're just looking at this typical H pattern that comes down, finds support, comes up to an EMA, and then breaks down. I call the H pattern the hope pattern because bulls are hoping that price would just go up. All right. Now, if price does continue to break down, I want to take my Fibonacci tool. I'm going to use the bottom of this move up into the pivot high. And I want to, somewhere around 40, 50%, can price hold 33.89 by about 33.81 on this pullback into open. All right. Once you start to understand how the futures move, then you can correlate that with the equity because most likely what you were doing is looking at equity and now you're watching it trickle down a little bit. All right. So that's what's going on. Just a little bit of resistance. Let's see if they can hold about 40% of this. Now, what I would like to see on the bull side is a push above this 9 EMA and this level here at 34.12 and a half. If we can hold this and a break of my trend line, and everybody's trend lines are different, I just try to touch as many points as I can. And then above that, we're looking for 34.35. The bigger picture, I've been saying this for a week and a half, is up here. We need to hold 34.71. This is a higher time frame supply. We came up close right here, never got into there, and pushed all the way back down to the green box. This is the same blueprint that I've had on for almost a week and a half. That's crazy. I've never had to do that before. What does that mean? It just means that we're going sideways. All right. So please understand that. This is the blueprint. Red box, we look for resistance. Green box, look for support. You can see there. And then midterm, right now, we need to get above this yellow line. Bulls need to hold it up about 40%. Let's go ahead and move on. Now understand that all of these, most of these that I'm going to show you, they all have earnings this week. So as of right now, this is going to be, a smaller time frame. I'm just looking for trades intraday. So far you can see things are pulling back. This was my blueprint. Okay, Amazon has pulled all the way back into the neutral. And what I'm looking for on here is at the 30 minute. All right, 30 minutes to say 2-hour 9 EMA. We need to be above that. We need to get above the EMAs, above the neutral. Look for price to come back in. It may want to fill gaps. Identify those gaps. You don't have to be a hero and take the trade. Just set an alert. So today I said I wanted to set and forget. So what I want to do is wait. Okay, I could set an alert if it breaks down here. And if it wants to reclaim, then I'm interested in the trade. That shows me that there's a little bit of relative strength. Bulls want to take it. But if we follow the consistent patterns that we've been seeing, the market's just kind of been, moving a tad and then pulling back, sideways action later on in the day. Basically a big theta killer for most options. All right. So again, let's see if these lines can hold on open here. You can see so far the bottom line here is trying to hold. And if we start to move up over those 9 EMAs, then I start to get interested. The problem with candle formation this morning is it's creating down and selling pressure with topping wicks. So what that tells you is that your range could be tight today. It could be tight, meaning just a sideways trend, just to frustrate everyone. All right. So again, set alerts for outside of these neutrals. I'm looking at taking the trade outside of here, adding above the blue line, and trimming at my targets to the upside. It's a void under here unless we reclaim. That's Amazon. Let's go ahead and go to Apple. All right, so Apple, it's come down into the trendy edge. It's found a little bit of support here on a pullback into pre-market. All right, and then from here, if price drops here, void under, but look for reclaim of the 114.97 area and the 9 EMA for a long. Notice we are underneath the 9 EMA on a 30. Depending on what your time frame is, very important for you to understand that. Are you trying to trade and make money in the first 30 minutes? If you are and you're looking at a weekly candle, it's probably not going to work so well. All right. If you're looking at trading a swing, which, for me, I'm not doing that. They have earnings in a couple days. Then, you should probably be looking at something a little bit smaller. Here's something on a 4 hour. We're holding the 9 EMA. We're holding the trendy edge. I like that. Notice how it comes right down into my edge and then starts to pick up from here. I'm using a 4H holding the WE at 140, 114.95. That just means the weekly edge. At this moment, price is testing the trend line. A break above opens the decel. That's these red arrows, decelerator, red arrows. Okay. At 116.43, I really like this move above the red arrows. Mid support right now is 114.50. Oh, look, came right down into the edge, found a little bit of support. Adds above 117.3 or 115 by 114 and a half. Okay, meaning if price comes down, reclaims, then I'm interested. All right, so here's my targets to the upside. We definitely can find resistance over here at the decelerator. Again, Apple's looking like a tight day as well. So what do you want to do? Set your alerts. Don't sit here and stare at it all day. You'll do something silly. So there's at or above. If I can get above there, then I understand that I'm above the decel. And then down here, I really don't want to be in it. Okay, something like that. And you could use this low over here and just kind of drag this down. All right, that's Apple. Let's go ahead and take a look at Facebook. Apple also has earnings. Okay, please keep that in mind. Here's Facebook. I call this the neutral strategy or mellow in the yellow. Just let it be. Looking at a 4 hour, you can see we're underneath the 9 EMA. All right, we are in the neutral, but again, probably more interested. Let them do whatever they're going to do this morning, kind of shake some people out. If we start to reclaim this 9 EMA, and especially over here, I'm looking for a nice move into 282. My starters will be in here, but if we open up, all right, let me zoom in so I could really get that visual effect for you. All right, so if for some reason we pull on open, but we don't take out this low and we go inside, I'll use this reference as a stop, look to start, okay, because it's been a little shaky out there, a starter position, and then as we reclaim the 9, then I'm looking at adding, and then I'm looking at trimming, pulling the rest up for a stop, and then seeing if I can ride the trend out. Nice little U shape, possible move like this, cup and handle. Now I will also be playing some earning strategies, but I'll be going over that in the room. I like to use vertical spreads for earnings, identifying my targets to the upside and downside. Typically, I'm looking for anywhere for a 1 to 5 return on these verticals. I typically only spend anywhere from $50 to 100, and again, the return is at or around $300 to $450, somewhere in there. Okay. All right, there's Facebook. Let's look at Tesla. We've already had earnings on Tesla. And this is the area. I'm going to make this really easy. Watching this area for buyers to step in. Void under here. So I have this pivot here. I have the trendy edge, this yellow line. You can see that Tesla so far likes the trendy edge. And if we can break above the 421.56, then a possible move into these green arrows at or around 436. Okay. Very simple. This area, basically, if I were to put a box in here, this is your mellow in the yellow. All right. And let me make sure I didn't miss one here. Let's go over into our focus trades for today. And I got Facebook, Tesla. Oh, here we go. One more, two more here, actually. Spot. Let's look at some Spotify. All right, so you can see here, the spreads on this can be a little wonky. Right now, pre-market, I'm not going to trade this pre-market 286 by 289. Sure, I could put in a limit and trade this, but this is my trading plan right here. You can see that it is reclaimed the trendy edge. Now, our trendy edges are on different time frames, so they're different depending on your approach in the market, whether it be a scalp, a swing, or even leaps. Okay, so here we are reclaiming our next trendy edge there, and you can see it's around 286.30. If we can hold this level, looking for a move into 293.14 on the sell-off candle, I would expect resistance in here. However, if we can claim and hold this for a good couple hours, then you could be looking for a move into 299. We do have earnings coming up on 10/29, just like the rest of them. So please be careful. If I trade this again, it's a day trade until proven otherwise. Let me go ahead and go over that definition. What that means is my expectation is to only be in the trade for literally, it could be an hour, it could be 10 minutes, depending on, these high beta names like this. I can make my money super quick. If I make enough money and those profits exceed my expectations, I can hold a little bit into tomorrow. But in the back of my head, I'm very aware that 1029, we have earnings. Okay. Next one here, going down, we have LLY. Now this one's special because it's been getting its butt kicked. All right. And so it's coming all the way down here. It's at 134. I'm going to go to a higher time frame, a monthly, and I want to show you what I got out here. So nice little cup and handle formation here. All right, it's coming down close to that leap section of my edges. All right, and so coming into here, when I say leap, it doesn't have to be a year. I do not like waiting that long. That's just me. But what I like to see is this pull back into here. I don't like to buy on the first day on a pullback. However, what I'd like to see is that we continue down here, trip my alert, and then if we continue to fall back, then I'll come back and I'll reset my alert right here. And on a reclaim, that's when I get interested and start buying 60 to 90, 180 days out, something like that. Okay, I've done the same thing over here in FSLY. All right. So what I like to do is debits. So instead of paying up for, the premium and so forth, I like to do vertical debit spreads. All right. Now you can see here on FSLY, it does look like it wants the 9 EMA on the monthly, but it's also at that support level where it continues to come back on the monthly. So I went ahead and started some verticals that are out quite some distance, and I'm just looking for a return, of about 30% of this candle at some point. So when it does go bid, just looking for it to move up about 30%. Okay. All right. So let's get back over into the room. Um, let's see. Go ahead. Any of you guys have anything else you'd like to take a quick look at? It's 8:14. AMD. All right, let's go ahead and look at AMD. So anytime we have earnings, and you can see here it's flat, it's really frustrating for anyone that's trying to buy into earnings because that premium gets crushed, right? Just depending on what that implied vol was yesterday. Now let's work it down from a monthly. You can see double inside, looks just like the rest of the market. We're going to come over here into the weekly. Okay, sideways action, higher lows, lower highs equals sideways. It's around the 9 EMA on the weekly. I like that. And let's go into the daily. All right. And current price is flat. So again, it's probably right here at the 9. All right. We have a little bit of support here, but the move out is not that, it's really not that strong. All right. But it did come back. Looks like it's testing this rel that I gave you guys. Okay. Right here. See that little yellow line? So watch to see. I would take this wick right here. Okay, just like that. And I take underneath this base. Let's identify those right there. We're going to go under. Actually, we're going to use the trendy edge. Why wouldn't we? All right. So we're going to pull this over here. And really, this entire area, if they want to pull it back, this should be support. But again, you can treat it different ways. If it falls, just leave it alone. Okay. Wait for that inside. Wait for buyers to step in. I can use my stop under here and look to trade this up to the upside. This is resistance for now at 83.73. We really need to hold this. Again, this is an edge, so it's support, or sorry, it's resistance. All right, as long as price is under it. If we can reclaim it, looking for 85.67. All right, so again, this area needs to hold 83.79. I understand it's at 82. Pay attention to this wick. This is a hammer. Maybe it finds some support in here. We'll see. Like I said, we have a lot of big names coming off for earnings. It could be the mojo that you're looking for. So let's just say this thing goes flat. Hypothetical, Amazon kicks butt, Google kicks butt, Facebook, all these names are like killing it. Nvidia kills it. I don't know. And then this finally gets what it's looking for. What I can see here, it rounded out, it's holding these levels and can continue up, moving its way into this 88 area. Okay, just like this, and then boom. All right. All right, Zen, Z-E-N. And it's trading at 102 by 114. Wow, the spread on that's pretty nuts. That's for sure. Where do you get these names, man? All right, so we got some support. We have the double edge stack right here. This is my support. I'm just going to take my edges. Okay, I love these kind of setups because you don't have to do too much work. It's already there on the screen for you. So 107 by 105, look for support. And then to move up over the daily 9 EMA is really what you need. And that is roughly around 109.79. Okay. So really, if price drops in here again, wait for it. If it reclaims, look for a move into 109.94 and above that, possibly into 112. If we break down below this ME, okay, then possibly down here to 103. But again, you have earnings on 1029 auto, so that's just in a couple days, man. We'll go over more if you want like longer time frame targets. We can go over that a little bit later when we have a little bit more time. All right, JMIA came up pretty close to our upper $20 target, has pulled back. Notice that it found the trendy edge perfectly and has bounced. I would expect a little bit of sideways action here. Earnings on 11/10. When I see any sort of candle like this, it's not quite inside. I would expect an inside candle today. So really, you're pretty neutral between 1959 and down here at 1750. On Jake on SPY. So again, I know that you're new here. I use the ES futures chart or the SPY chart that is in broad market analysis. It's really straightforward, but we'll go over it. And I want to make sure that I'm set up for this week, 1026. Let's go into a 4H. So the way we read this, when I come in the morning, I go over these. Okay, this was your blueprint from yesterday. We shorted all the way down into here. We covered and went long. Okay, and then as we wake up this morning, this is one of my targets, all right, that I gave you over the weekend that we shorted down into. And now notice that we're holding it on a 4 hour, but the 9 EMA is above. 9 EMA is going to be resistance. This right here is going to be midterm support at 339.43. All right. You could do a box on it. You could write down the numbers. You could do whatever makes you happy. This right here could be another neutral. Just chill out in here, right? This is all speculation. So really what we want to see is can price get above and hold this EMA, which is resistance, and then I'm looking for that move into 115 and possibly 63. If it continues to break down just like the ES futures, I need to measure this pivot low into here. And I want to see that bulls can at least hold this 50 area. Okay, that's just short term. All right, it's right around 338.40. A little bit of sideways action, man. So the 9 EMA is really important today. No problem. And just real quick, someone's asking for stop. 1058. Look at this thing, man. Just beauty. Check it out. 20 bucks, 20, 30 bucks, but check it out. It's also moving right into resistance. So for me, this is what I love about the edges. I wouldn't be chasing this. unless it can reclaim the edge. Just like the futures, they're pushing shop right into a form of resistance. If you don't know what that is, you can get screwed. That's why I love everything that we have on the chart here. All right, again, supply up here, support down here. All right, so it's 8:21, and one more that we need to go over. So I started some Lulu yesterday, and it was nice. Lulu was down, I think $5 or $6 when we bought, and then closed up like two, only down two, and then it's a small gap up this morning. There's a wide spread on this with equity. I typically never trade this pre-market because of that. I bought spread, so basically what I'm looking for today is I want to set alert above this neutral at around 336. All right, and then I'm going to put one down here underneath this base. I just want to chill. All right, if it goes off here, I know I'm doing really well. If it goes down here, I probably want to get stopped out. Accept your loss before you take the trade. This stuff becomes a lot more easier. Try not to trade with scared money. And if you're out there and you're having a hard time, don't go into a service just because you need to make your money back. Come into a service because you want to be educated and you want to learn, and you want to learn capital preservation, but you also want to learn where to buy and where to sell. All right, folks, so I'm going to jump off here on Periscope. I appreciate it. Give me a like and retweet if you would.